Good morning, Nudelberg Daily Huddle. We're back. It's a Tuesday. It's a Tenacious Tuesday. And I'm really interested to see who all shows up or who stays, because Steve Nudelberg will not be here today. It will be the boys of the Nudelberg family running the show. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me back.
I mean, we don't have a choice. Your family. So it's we just kind of get stuck with you being here.
Right. Unless you want to change the name of the show, I think I'm locked in because I have the name. So
yeah, you're the natural fill-in because of the last name. So good morning to everybody coming in. It is another great day, another opportunity to get 1% better. Happy Mardi Gras, Mary Beth says.
Tuesday.
It is. Oh, I forgot. You know what? We don't even put that on the show rundown that it's Fat Tuesday.
Whoopsie.
Jeremy Torres says out. I love it. See ya. But we've got some great JA people here. Adrenia, Lori. Actually, Lori, I'm going to tell you something. I saw you on Saturday. You were driving into the shopping plaza on the corner of Oakland Park and US 1 as we were pulling out of it. And you were in your red BMW, which I saw. And I was like, Gabby was like, is that Lori? And I like whipped around. I was like, oh, yeah, it's Lori. So it's good to see you around the neighborhood, Lori.
Stalking.
Jake, we're here. It's a Tuesday, right? We got some major sports updates. I always love talking sports with you. So, Shay, can we get like a sports headline?
Sure.
Major news in South Florida in the baseball world and in the leadership world. We are losing Derek Jeter as the CEO of the Miami Marlins. Jake, thoughts?
I wish I could comment on it. I don't watch baseball, so I'm going to defer to my guy Shay, who is the baseball guy and deserves to talk about it.
Shay, give us the baseball feedback.
Well, they're a shit show right now. The MLB in general. So
fair.
Losing ground. Lockouts are never good, but they're getting close. They're getting close.
Easy leadership lesson, though, is that he said there is no commitment to win, and so it is a mutual parting of ways, because he said, look, it's not what I signed up to do. I thought I was getting involved with an organization that was committed to win, that was going to allocate the necessary resources. And, you'd have to think that Derek Jeter is a smart guy, obviously a competitive guy that knows baseball, and you lose a great leader because you're not committed to win.
Well, you have to understand too. So Jeter is a little bit, he comes from Yankees and Diagonal organizations.
Are you saying he's used to being in organizations that want to win?
He's used to seeing things a little different. And
right.
Miami's been different for a long time. So, and Kim Ng, kind of brought a different pedigree to the table, but I guess
Speaking of winning culture,
team.
Well, the real South Florida team that's got culture, the Miami Heat, get a great win last night against the Chicago Bulls, and just prove that you don't have to have LeBron James. You don't have to have some of the biggest names in sports to be successful. All you have to do is have the right DNA and the right culture. And Spo and Pat Riley just continue to do it.
Well, I think, it's interesting. We were talking about this with some of our clients the other day about holding the standard, and I think there's no negotiation once you come into the organization what the standard is. Whether you are Jimmy Butler, whether you are Bam, whether you are Kyle Lowry, or if you're Max Strus, or you're Caleb Martin, or if you're Chris Quinn or the video guy, everybody understands what the standard is and does their part. And I think in, those organizations that we were talking about, every level has to own that standard and continue to set it for the next level, or it all will trickle down eventually. And so I think that's the lesson of the Heat, is that we do it with different players, obviously the same coach and management, which is important, but the different players continue to exhibit the same behaviors that you want.
hold the stand. I'm glad you're listening. First of all, it's exciting to me to know that you're actually listening when we're doing our coaching calls and you're not just typing the notes mindlessly and that it's sinking in with what we're talking about. But you're exactly right. I think holding the standard, and speaking of holding the standard, shout out to Hayden, who was in our workout class this morning. But your boy came in on top of the Rebel Station this morning with 1,058 meters on the treadmill for the Rebel Station. Thank you. Holding the standard of getting 1% better every day. Let's go to some wake up music, and then we're coming back because we got a lot to celebrate and talk about.
Wake up, everybody! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Wake up! Come on! Come on! Wake up, everybody! Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody! No more sleeping in bed. No more back to thinking, time for thinking ahead. Come on.
So, Jake, welcome to the show. Glad to have you on as the co-host. Let's give people a little bit of an update of what's happening in your world, because I think a lot has gone on since the last time you were on the show.
The last time I was really on the show was like my birthday, and we talked about some, kind of unimportant things that were nothing. Talked about
your
nothing.
birthday.
Thank you guys for sitting with me for my birthday, but it's interesting because the world we come in, I think the priorities never really change in the world of football. Like, you look at the yearly calendar, you know where your priority is going to be. February is going to be recruiting. March is going to be evaluating, setting up for spring ball. Then it's this continuous
same
cycle every year. You leave that world, one, you have more time because there's just a lot of time to spend.
It's a different world.
Just a different world. And so you balance the personal life and the professional life of like ever-changing priorities and like where your focus is going, whether it be, professional or personal. Like, in the next couple of weeks, your priorities are going to shift because you're having a baby, right? Like, there's no other way to do it.
Yes.
And so constantly being able to prioritize where your attention goes is really hard. Like, it's not easy. And so it's been interesting. I've been pulled in a couple different directions.
What have your priorities been?
Right. So the last couple of years, the last year, I've been pulled in so many different directions. What am I going to do? Am I going to be a sales guy? Am I going to be an operations role? Long story short,
Are you going to be all of that?
It can be all of it, in every single end of whatever. So in the last, 4 months, I guess you could say, an opportunity arose, obviously, from the great Steve Nudelberg, who pisses out good ideas on a daily basis.
Who's coming to us from the air, by the way. He is on his way back from Nashville, and he is in the comments right now, flying back in the huddle. Shout out to Dad.
Always
glad you're watching. Hope we're making you proud as always.
And so he came up with an idea where he brought it to us, and he's a really good idea, man, but needs some people around him to put it into action.
Put the details together.
Right. And so that's where we kind of come in the world we're from. And we came up with an idea called Cups for Charity. That is beautiful. Nice job, Shed.
There it is. Yeah. Beautiful.
We have a logo.
What is Cups for Charity?
What is Cups for Charity? It is a marketing vehicle, and we're a coffee company that uses K-Cups and partners with charities to help them increase marketing donations and increase awareness as a whole.
It is a very, very cool idea, and I think it's been a blast working with you on this business. It's been a blast bringing this idea to life, and it's up and running. And I think it's a really cool way for nonprofits to create a unique customer experience, or a unique experience for anybody, for a prospect, for a donor, for anybody that's in their world that really is innovative. It helps them stand out from the crowd. It looks really cool. Shay, do we have a picture of what the actual box looks like?
Not the actual box, but
but Jake came prepared. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So there is our first partner with the organization. It's super cool. 3 K-Cups that come branded with the company. It's got a really cool box that says sip, scan, and support. And it's just cool. So I'm proud of you. I know you've done a great job putting together the details on it. I know I've had a blast with it. I know we've talked to a lot of other organizations around South Florida about it. What's some of your takeaways from taking an idea from being a kernel to actually getting it up and running with the website, the e-commerce, the actual production of the K-Cups and the boxes, getting them to the client? Like, what's some of your high-level takeaways to what you've learned?
High-level takeaways, they don't teach you anything in school. Like nothing. Have a business degree, nothing. But no, I think knowing that it's not going to be perfect at every step of the way and being okay with that and accepting that there's going to be iterations and you're going to go through growing phases and maybe the initial plan of what you thought it was going to be is not what it's going to be. And like being open to thinking outside the box and having those people that are surrounding you to give you other ideas, not that they shit on your idea, but that they said, hey, have you thought about it this way? Well, yeah, I did. And this is why we're not going to do that. Or no, I haven't. That's interesting. Maybe we'll try that. And so that's really the high level of what I've learned.
The iterations are so important. And shout out to Kevin Split coming to us this morning. Kevin, I will be in City Tamarack. I'm not sure if you're going to be in the office or around the corporate building, but would love to see you while I'm there. I'll be there all morning. So thanks for being here and in the huddle this morning, Kevin. So it's great stuff. We have another thing to talk about, another business that we've been a part of that is celebrating its 1-year anniversary. And it is officially 1 year since we dropped the GOTB, Get On the Ball training platform. Shay, can you play the highlight reel for me?
Get On the Ball is a masterclass for any professional looking to get 1% better daily. We focus on behaviors that affect outcomes and give you actionable tools to take your sales to the next level. LinkedIn is the most important pipeline development tool in sales. The social selling module lays out the 6 rules of engagement specifically tailored for the LinkedIn platform. We dive deep into activity that enhances prospecting, converts connections to conversations, and creates new opportunities for your business. A repeatable process is the key to modern business development. In this module, we will focus on the 3 most important steps to building a robust pipeline in today's business environment. Organizing your activity with a top 25, using modern tools to capture people's attention, and converting that attention to time will have you focused on the activity that creates sustained success in sales. The time management module helps you organize yourself and control where your attention goes. Learn how to leverage the Eisenhower Matrix, Parkinson's Law, and time boxing to create a schedule that focuses you and leads you to success. The mindset module is about focusing on the 4 core principles that get you in the zone and keep you in the zone. By controlling what you eat, what you do, what you say, and what you think, you will build the mindset of a high performer. Let's get on the ball.
Let's get on the ball. So that was something that was my baby, right? That was before you were even around full time. And that was my baby that I got the opportunity to work on with Dad, or have the opportunity to work on with Dad and Joe. And it's been a great learning experience because similar, right? Like iterations, how many times we created the website and how many times we edited the videos and made it sound right and created that highlight reel and did the voiceover for it, the work that goes into creating that finished product. But what is Get On the Ball? Get On the Ball is your opportunity to own the on the ball content, right? Like, you know, we talk about having a playbook. We talk about being able to go back and continuously learn. I keep the books that I read. I keep the highlights. I keep the notes so that I can go back to that and be able to remind myself to go back to the fundamentals, because that's been a conversation for us as well with some of our leaders that we're working with. Is it's our job to not only help others as leaders stay true to the fundamentals, but for ourselves. We have to discipline ourselves to stay true to the fundamentals that make us successful day in and day out. So it was really cool creating the opportunity for people to own it for themselves, to be able to go back to it as many times as they can. And you were a big part of that with me, which was fun.
Yeah, that was my first kind of entry to working with On the Ball, was kind of getting that up and running and helping get it up and running the back end and stuff like that. But going back to the fundamentals, athletes go back to the fundamentals every year. You know, it's not a 1 year, let's learn it, and then I have it forever. The refreshing need and, you know, the need to refresh and continue to add on to it and keep it fresh in your mind, so it's always, you know, in your repertoire to use.
So, and this came up in a conversation yesterday, like, you know, a lot of people craft the customer journey, the customer experience for people, and they want to go through the selling process, point A to point, you know, F, whatever it is, to get to where they need to be. And they want to hit every stop. And then they start looking in the middle, at the end, for where things are breaking down. But it all comes back to the basics always. It always comes back to the initial, the fundamental, the first thing that happens, because if you're not doing that really, really well, then you can't do any of those other things well. And so I think, you know, it's easy to get away from the first step. It's easy to get away from that foundation that the success was built on, that you got to. And I think that's part of what was so great about Michael Jordan and some of the other great athletes who talk about it, is they never got away from the basics. They dominated the basics and the fundamentals day in and day out. And then they were able to be so much more excellent in the other things because they did those things so well.
Amen. I can't add to that. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Before. You've done this.
Appreciate that. So, you know, first of all, congratulations to Get On the Ball for being 1 year old. It was a great first year. We've done some great things. Shout out to Les Gusky, who I know was the very first client of the online platform. And as we talk about, continues to go back to it, to continue to find ways to get himself better and get himself, you know, absolutely excellent on the fundamentals. But congratulations to K4C for being up and running, and United Way being the first partner. Love the pictures. There's actually the pictures of us dropping off the first care package to United Way, which was a blast. And I was very proud to be there to see it happen.
And if you have a K-Cup machine, go to cupsforcharity.com, buy some United Way coffee, and support the charity. 50%, 50% of every purchase goes back to the charity. So help us.
I know Chris White is here. I know Mary Beth was here. We've got some of our United Way people here. It's an excellent opportunity for the Huddle to get involved, not only with the business Cups for Charity, but to also get involved with United Way. If you go to the website, you can go to their, you know, the K Cups, you can click United Way, you can select your amount, and then we will get you an unbelievable opportunity to give to the charity and to enjoy some coffee with us. Now let's get to some morning motivational music, and that's going to bring us back to our National Day, which is going to be fun to talk about.
We're living in the broken home of hopes and dreams. Let me be the first to shake a helping hand. Anybody brave enough to take a stand? I've knocked on every door, down every dead-end street, looking for forgiveness and what's left to believe. Oh, there's one thing I hang on to that gets me through the night. I ain't gonna do what I don't want to. I'm gonna live my life shining like a diamond, rolling with the dice, standing on the ledge to show the wind how to fly. When the world gets in my face, I say, have a nice day. Have a nice day.
So it is, what's the National Day? It's
World Compliment Day.
World Compliment Day. March 1st is officially World Compliment Day. And I think this is really appropriate because there's been a lot of articles coming out recently about culture and about how to combat the Great Resignation. And I think part of that is creating a culture of celebration, a culture of compliments, a culture of gratitude. I think all of those kind of go together. Talk to me about some of your experiences with a compliment culture.
Well, I think it's interesting because my generation probably gets a bad rap for being soft. We are
the participation crew.
And sure, call us what you want. But I think leadership as a whole has changed probably rapidly in the last 20 years more than ever, and the need to make people feel wanted, loved, encouraged at work has become more important than ever. You're obviously dealing with a bunch of mental health issues now and the work drive, the Great Resignation. And so I feel valued here. I know that you do such a great job of when you do initiate any criticism, it is first met with, hey, great job. This was really good. Do this, or have you thought about doing it this way? And it makes you more willing to listen when you soften them.
So I think that's the big shift in maybe some of the older generations to where we are now is it's not okay to just say good job doing your job anymore, right? It's not okay. It doesn't make people feel good to not be appreciated, even if they're meeting expectations. And so, working with organizations and working with coaches that are so in tune with creating new behaviors, right? In order to change culture, you have to change the behavior. All culture are the people that you have in your organization and the processes that they follow and how they go about. Oh, I love it, Debbie Hammer. Nice with a K-cup order. Thank you, Debbie. So glad that you got involved. But if you want to create new behavior in people, you can't just criticize and push. And same thing with getting people to meet a standard, right? Like I had this conversation with somebody last week. The standard may be excellence, but the reality is you're not going to go from wherever you are right now to excellence in one day. So how do you herd the cattle? There you go. There's a little Yellowstone reference for you. How do you navigate this group of people through change, through behavioral change? And it's all about compliments, gratitude, celebrations, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not where it needs to be right now. It doesn't mean you shouldn't celebrate the fact that they're trying it, that they're doing it, that they're making an effort to move in the right direction. Because if you don't celebrate that effort put forth and all you do is criticize, then the people start to think, well, it's never going to be good enough. Or they don't even notice the fact that I'm trying at this. They just want me to do it this way or do it that way. And it blocks out the criticism or the critique needed to get to where it needs to be. That's why I do that with you. It's because I know that if I just hammer you with criticism all the time, you're going to look at me like, you guy's an asshole. I knew my brother was a dick, but I didn't realize he was this big of an asshole, right? But like, if I'm able to hold myself for a second, even if I'm frustrated because you're not doing it the way I want you to do it, it's a, hey, look, I recognize the fact that you're trying. I'm proud of you for trying. This is great. Here's where I need you to continue to send your focus in order to get a little bit better.
Yeah, and people want to be valued. Like and the point you made where if it's always negative, it's never going to be good enough. They're going to stop trying.
Correct.
You're just going to stop trying. If it's never going to be good enough, why am I doing it? There's no motivation. Doesn't allow them to think creatively. Doesn't push them to be better. And in this constant world of getting better, you want to push people to want to get better as their own, not you forcing them.
Look, our primary job as coaches is to criticize. Our primary, if I'm not nitpicky, if I'm not constantly looking for ways to get you a little bit better, whether it's you or it's another client that we're working with, whoever it is, as a coach, as leaders, it's our job to push, to make sure people are moving forward a little bit every day. But I got to make sure that before I do that push, before I give you that nudge of finding that little bit that could get you a little bit better, I got to find at least 3 or 4 things that I'm able to celebrate with you. And it's not one-to-one. I think most people get like, oh, I'll give you a compliment and then I'll criticize. Absolutely not. Research has shown that it's upwards of 6 to 1 for how many compliments you should give or how much praise you should give before you give feedback, before you give criticism, before you find that opportunity for growth.
Yeah, you're good with it. So
I appreciate that. And I think it's important for everybody out there to remember that on National Compliment Day, and it's, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, is that old saying. On World Compliment Day, find a way to give somebody a compliment, make somebody feel good by, offering them some feedback, some celebration, something that builds them up a little bit, because as Zig Ziglar always said, the more successful you make other people, the more successful you will be. Jake, great job with the show today. Absolutely tenacious Tuesday. I love that Cups for Charity got something going. Celebrate it, get on the ball. Have a fantastic day, guys. We will see you tomorrow, where Steve Nudelberg will be back.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this.